as predicted, I said I was going to do the 31 Days of Horror thing. And I had this sneaking suspicion that I really wouldn't be able to actually get, all of the actual videos uploaded their actual corresponding day. We had the big snafu with the bat going up the second day of horror before the first day of horror. And now I just don't have any free time to actually upload these damn videos. But, all that to say, I decided to, for this one anyway, because not only do they have almost the exact same title, in fact, they're kind of contemporaries, the same, sort of gothic meets modern horror template. And of course, the fact that they're actually directed by the same guy, I kind of figured I'd actually kill two birds with one stone here and actually do day 5 and day 6 of the 31 Days of Horror countdown is one video. So first up, and like I said, these movies are actually made by the same guy, which is something I wasn't actually aware of. Like, I don't know how ignorant I've been. Like, I had no idea that Mario Bava did both Black Sabbath and Black Sunday. And that's one of those weird, things, the bookends. It's like knowing the same guy who did Black Christmas is the same guy that directed A Christmas Story. It's good to know he's got the bookends on lockdown there. But Mario Bava did those to me, just somebody else. I forgot his name. Crap. Somebody will figure it out. Alright, so anyway, 2-for-1 special. First off, 1960, we've got Black Sunday, which is actually, it's a really great movie, because it kind of is sort of emblematic of the shift from the pre-Night of the Living Dead gothic horror and sort of the modern blood and guts exploitation sex maniac jubilee that we saw beginning in the early 1960s onward. And this one came out in 1960, a really, really big year for horror. Same year Psycho came out. Same year Peeping Tom came out, which a lot of people consider to be the first modern slasher film. Kind of a controversial opinion, some people differ, but it's out there. So this one was pretty much right there in the loop. And like I said, it's a really good movie because it kind of combines elements of both the old school gothic horror and the modern exploitation. To begin, the cinematography is really good. It's black and white. The opening scene is really one of the best in the history of horror. You've got a witch on trial, and she's killed by having this metal plate hammered into her skull with nails, and blood starts coming out of the perforations. I mean, yeah, it's pretty tame by today's standard. Way back in the day, you got to remember, 5 years earlier, we're doing House on Haunted Hill, and now we've got blood coming out of people's eyeballs. That's a pretty big leap. As far as the movie itself, it's actually pretty entertaining. It's your standard supernatural revenge from beyond the grave movie. It's one of those films that's kind of set in a time frame where, it could be the early 1900s, it could be the 1850s, it could be some backwaters European community in the 1940s. You really don't know. And basically what's going on is there is this old witch who has come back from the dead. There's some supernatural ghost, and she's laid out on the table, and she has pustules from the wounds all over her face. And she's slowly but surely walking around and seducing everybody. And she's making out with priests and making them turn evil. And ultimately what ends up happening is this really old evil satanic night dude who has really bubbly hair and a bushy mustache and beard. He comes back from the dead, and he's some super warlock. And they're trying to take over the town. And it's very atmospheric. If you're a fan of the Italian style film, it's got really good pacing. So, it's just very well structured. And the ending is great. There's this part where the witch decides that she's going to take over the body of the young virgin heroine. So this kind of the climax of the movie. The guy finally figures out, hey, wait a minute, that's not my girlfriend. That's the evil witch person. And I'm doing a really horrible job of describing the movie, but it's way better than I make it out to be. It's one of those films where it's just so much about atmosphere, and the characters kind of learning that there actually is something supernatural going on. It's hard to pull off. This one actually does make it. And it's a very, very entertaining movie. If you haven't seen it, it's worth killing at least an hour and a half. I'd give this one 3 pieces of candy corn out of 4. Alright, so we'll flash forward 3 years to another film directed by Mario Bava. This time around it's called Black Sabbath. yes, he did Black Sunday, Black Sabbath, and yes, this movie did inspire the name of the metal band for Led Zeppelin. So anyway, this one is a trilogy of short stories, so it's kind of doing the Creep Show, Tales from the Crypt thing. And, the stories, they're pretty good, like, individually, but as a whole, they really add up to much of a narrative. The first story is about this really, really, like, nasty woman who's taking care of, like, this old, decrepit woman who's, like, this close to, like, kicking the bucket. I mean, she already looks like a corpse. So she's supposedly catatonic, and because she's catatonic, her caretaker is, like, trying to find her jewelry and steal it. And, of course, if you've ever watched a morality play like this before, you know what happens. All of a sudden, the catatonic woman goes from being not so catatonic, and she scares the other woman to death. And, it's pretty predictable. But, I mean, for the time, the Technicolor is great. It's all, like, really, like, great pastel. So the visuals are nice. The second story is actually a little bit better. It's about, like, this really, really, really hot, like, Italian girl who I think is, like, actually a hooker. They never come out and say she's a hooker, but you can tell she is. And basically she's being haunted by, like, the pimp that she killed, or, like, a pimp that died that she kind of had a part in his death, so she's not that innocent. So basically it's about her, kind of, like, trying to come to grips with the fact that her ghost pimp is after her, and her friends don't believe her, and there's kind of a twist ending, but I don't really give it away, so it's probably, the best out of the three vignettes. Okay, and the third one is the most supernaturally. That's actually about, like, this guy who comes to town. It's, like, somewhere out in, like, Eurasia, like Romania. It's where I imagine Chernobyl to be. Where it's a bunch of, like, old guys who believe in, like, vampires. He's not really sure he believes in it. But, like, this old dude comes back, and apparently he's been attacked. So he's got the vampire in him. And one thing leads to another. And eventually he's seduced by the daughter. But oops, what do you know? The daughter is actually a vampire too. So it's all very, very standard stuff. I know I'm not doing the best job of describing it, but you know what? The films kind of speak for themselves. Black Sabbath, this one, for what it is, it's pretty good. I enjoy the aesthetics, but the stories themselves are a little bit by the numbers. They don't really have the same atmosphere and ambiance of Black Sunday. So I think Black Sunday is definitely a better movie. But all in all, if you're looking for some sort of against the grain gothic horror, which still feels a little bit modern, you'll still probably enjoy Black Sunday, seeing as how it's the template for Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror and all these other anthology movies. So it's decent, but not great. I give that one 2.5 pieces of candy corn out of 4. So there you go. That's our back-to-back Mario Bava feature for day 5 and day 6. Recapping Black Sunday, really enjoyable gothic horror film from the early 1960s. 3 pieces of candy corn. Black Sabbath, just a kind of all-right, fair to middling anthology horror film from 1963. You know what? It's still a good double feature, if you've got nothing else going on. So there you go. Mario Bava, day 5, day 6. And for our next installment, we're heading into 1963, and we've got some great stuff coming up then. All right. Keep trucking along. 31 days continues.